Today on the show, it's all about Legion, Chapter 6. All this and more on What the Hell Did We Just Watch? Welcome to another episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch? I'm your host, Lumotional Lou, and I'm here to spread TV awareness for the week because you know why? It's Legion time. So here it is, Legion Season 1, Episode 6, Chapter 6.
Have you guys noticed a door in the hall? It's not always there.
On this Wednesday.
I'm sensing a lot of hostility. You see how unhealthy that is.
We can run. There's just no place to go.
How can a door be there and not be there at the same time?
What did you do to see?
What can I say? For lack of a better word, I think this episode was a filler, but it's only for a lack of a better word because this is far from what an episode is as a filler. It does not, fall into this filler standard, thing about how TV shows do. This is not a filler at all, or at least not the way that it is, but what I mean by filler is that this episode, like I said, does not highlight any kind of story. It doesn't help push it forward. It just keeps you in this place to just kind of simmer it in terms of what's going on. And basically what we see is that Sid and company and David and everybody, they're all stuck inside the mental facility again, Clockworks. Sid we follow her around, and what she can't see is that as she's walking through the hallways, she sees this door. She can't get to the door. She hears muffled music coming through the other side, but she doesn't know why. And they keep telling her to get away from it. And then she starts asking around in the entire facility of the rest of the company. Have you seen this this brown door? Have you seen the door? Basically is what she's saying. And everybody doesn't see it. Carrie tells her it's confusion maybe, and David is so calm in this kind of plane wherever it is that they are, and the way that he's explaining everything is that there is no door or anything like that. So basically no one is seeing what she's seeing, so we mostly follow her through this whole journey. It was inside Clockworks. It's pretty interesting though, because everybody's in there and you're seeing everybody in terms of all their conditions, and they're trying to figure out why they are in where they are. And we see Melanie, since she doesn't have her husband, so they think that she is just not letting go, because the person that is the doctor in this entire facility is actually Lenny, Aubrey Plaza's character, which I really, really like, because I'm glad that they didn't put her character to the side. Lenny's character, I just thought that she was going to be almost a bit of a one-off, but instead she's actually been writing it out the entire show, in David Holler's subconsciousness, and that's great. I'm so happy that her character is being put to a good use, and that the devil with the yellow eyes, we already know that he's kind of the embodiment, or Lenny is the embodiment of this mutant, this entity, or what it is, whatever it is, because we know that it hosts itself inside of David. There was a part in the show where Lenny is saying to David that there's this disease that ants get, and they carry it with them, and basically what the fungus actually is what it is. It's not a disease, but it's a fungus that attaches itself to the ant, and it causes the ant to want to climb up to the highest level so that the fungus can reach its final form. Basically, it starts coming out of the head of the ant and basically ends up killing the ant. So basically what we were getting is that David is the ant, and the devil with the yellow eyes is the fungus. That's basically what's going on. It's a fungus that lives inside the ant, and that it comes out to a point where it's going to kill the host. And let's hope that doesn't happen to David. Who knows that by the end of the season what's going to happen, but no, we can rest assured that the show has been extended for a season 2, and I'm very excited. It was earlier this past week that it was announced, and I'm very happy to hear that it is. So I can't wait to see where season 2 goes and what kind of filming, kind of like artistic filming that the show is going to take, because let me tell you something, the way that this show is filmed is fantastic, and the writing of the show does not fall anywhere behind that either, because it's just top one like quality. Like, I just love it. I can't get my eyes off of it. And the show's coming to an end as the first season's wrapping up, and the show just works, man. It's fantastic. But back to the episode 6, chapter 6. I really wish they named their episodes, but they didn't. They just put them in as chapters. But what this episode did was kind of like, since we were in some kind of subconscious place, maybe in the astral plane, or a section of the astral plane that the devil with the yellow eyes has put us in, because that's where it is. I think it's subconsciously David did this without him knowing that he did it, meaning that it was the devil with the yellow eyes, because he does live inside David. That's his kind of like double personality. It's the other person of him. I'm not really sure yet if it's someone different, or is this really David as well? We don't know that yet. Let's, as the season comes to an end, then maybe we'll get that answer, hopefully soon. I'm going to be very excited to see where it goes. So in 2 more episodes, it's crunch time. I think that this episode, one of the things that it did, besides, have fun with being in Clockworks again and meeting all the characters in the way that kind of like the way they are, but in a more kind of like if it was mentally disturbed people, what they have, like basically Carrie and Carrie, they were just two separate people that just needed to be together, that they were inseparable, so to speak. You had David, who was not a schizophrenic, but a manic depressive. And then you had Sid, who had the touching problem, but now it's not that. She had a totally other different condition, paranoid delusions. She sees things that are not there, so that goes very well with the door part, the fact that the door was there, but then it's not there. But we know that it's a bullshit, because we know that they're stuck. Melanie is having kind of like, a separation disorder kind of thing, where she still thinks that her husband is coming and he really isn't. That's what they were trying to sell it. That's how they were trying to sell it. And you got Paul Patanomy, who all he does is feels like he says that he always remembers memories, but he feels that he's only able to just observe his memories. And he keeps recalling the story about how his mother just dropped dead in the kitchen. And that was pretty interesting and very sad too, when you get to see that scene play out. Yeah, basically that's what it is. That's how everybody's kind of like being moved around into in Clockworks and shit. And Orderly is played by David's sister, Amy. She's like walking around kind of like judging everybody, taking away people's cherry pies. Poor David. You should have seen his face. Well, I'm sure you after listening, you did see his face. And I chuckled. Me and my girlfriend, we chuckled. We thought it was pretty funny that he doesn't get to have cherry pie, and he was really looking forward to it. But one of the things that I really loved about this episode is that the story is pretty plain Jane. It's pretty simple. It plays right along the episode. But one of the things that I love about what this episode did was that it gave us a very simple story, but it went all over the place cinematically. You get to see so many beautiful images. Just like the direction of the episode was fantastic. Dream sequences, like the thing with the crickets that Lenny put some headphones on Sid's ears, and like her little journey and how it made her go into bed. That was fantastic. That just played out so beautifully. You just take this beautiful cinematic journey into like what's going on, and you can't help but just be mesmerized by what you see on screen, and it just blows my mind. Lenny, like I said, was played by in this scene as the psychiatrist for everybody, and kind of making them all feel like they were in this place where they can't get out. And it makes you feel like it's grounded in reality to where it is for them, that it makes it feel real. And Lenny is trying to convince them that they have these disorders when they really don't. And we know that they don't. And one of the reasons why we see that they don't is that there is a scene in this episode that Lenny kind of goes into her own world, or like this area where it's like it's inside the door from what we see, where the door that Sid sees. We go in there and we're seeing these emptied out memories of Lenny, just of David's empty memories, like the kitchen and a couple of other rooms and stuff that they've been in, the bedroom when he was a kid. And Lenny is just kind of doing this amazing dance number, looking all hot and shit, and just going in there and dancing and just kind of like basically, you know, overpowering David's memories by like, basically that's just what we were seeing, that she was just dancing all over his memories, that she's saying in a way, in a dancing mode way, that she has control over him. The devil with the yellow eyes controls David's mind, and he is in control right now. That's basically what we're seeing, is that he is in control right now, and he is just like having fun. Basically, he is just all out, and he doesn't give a shit, or she doesn't give a shit. And it's fantastic the way that they show everything. It might leave you to confusion, but it's just that's what I mean. Like, cinematically, you might feel confused, but if you just like don't think that you're being confused, just stop and think, like, why am I seeing this? Why is it showing this way? It's because it's just showing it to you in a different light. It's like saying, I rule this place right here, I'm gonna dance all over it. It's kind of like who was it, Tom Cruise in Risky Business, when he started slid in and he knew that he had the house to himself, and he started dancing, and you know, in his tighty whities and his pink button down shirt, looking all cool. And that's basically the gist of like what that scene was, you know, which is fantastic. I just thought it was great. It says so much with so little words because there was nothing spoken. And then you see Lenny come out of the door that Sid and sees, and then eventually also David sees. And one of the things that's pretty amazing is that, you know, it's unapologetic. The episode is unapologetic. The entire series so far has been unapologetic to how they want to tell the story, and I love that. And it makes people like me super interested. This, again, I will say, it is the show, or I should say the X-Men related anything that I've been waiting for to see. That this show here shows and proves that we need a change. We need an X-Men related material to be like this. You know, this is what 2017 X-Men should be. You know, it's time to let go of everybody else, start fresh, start new, be more imaginative. That's what I'm saying, imaginative. You know what I mean? Like, Deadpool is creating its own thing, but it definitely is not resting its shoulders on the old franchise that's outdated, because even Deadpool is nice and it's 2017 and it's an idea that they've been trying to do forever, and I know that since then it has evolved. Okay, and Deadpool, when that movie came out, has proven that it did. So Fox, X-Men series, let's keep it moving. You got something going, and let's see if you can learn from this TV show and create a better film franchise. Let's go. You know, anyway, back to it. Just take risk. I can't stop thinking about it. Just take risk and create something imaginative and fresh and new. You know, like, you can't get any better than that, you know? So one of the things, like, you know, in conclusion, because I'm about to almost finish this, but we get to see that this episode was really for us to get to know who the devil with the yellow eyes is. We're seeing him kind of like own David's mind and being in there and dominating the whole thing. You know, it's fantastic, and he deserves an episode. So basically what I was trying to say is that this episode shows us how much power the devil with the yellow eyes has over David, and it's a strong one. Now, one of the things that left us towards the end is that Carrie, while he was sleeping, gets visited by this kind of like bubbly, kind of like weird thing that's over his head. And while he's in there, we start to see that he's in the astral plane, that he was brought in by Oliver in the scuba suit. You know what I mean? So one of the things that started happening was that the scuba suit, you know, we think it's Oliver in the scuba suit. He starts kind of like telling Melanie, come here, and she brings him into the last episode, the last scene in the bedroom when he was going to shoot when they were all going to get shot, or at least when Sid and David are going to get shot. We're still stuck in that mental area. You know what I mean? So that's interesting. And she's telling him, she's like pointing and stuff. She doesn't understand what needs to get done. She tried to touch the bullet. It burned her. She tried to push David and Sid, and it didn't happen. They kept moving. They couldn't move. So, you know, that's one thing that we understand, is that Oliver now is trying to help the group get out of this existence that they're in. And it's using Carrie. He's using Carrie to do so. So basically, you get to see the scuba diver person help Melanie, and then you get to see the scuba diving person help out Sid. Takes the headphones off that she had on, that she was like asleep, trapped in the sleep mode. And when he takes off the mask, we see that it's Carrie inside. So it's like, whoa, what happened? You know, where are they? You know, I mean, is he going to help him out? Did Carrie wake up from the mental hell that they're in? You know, Oliver helped him, because we know that that's who's in the scuba suit all the time, is Oliver. So in conclusion, there's only one real question that, you know, we have, and is, how the hell are they going to get out? How are they going to get out with that? I cannot wait to see that in the next episode. Hopefully, you know, we see them get out. Maybe it is then, or maybe in the next episode. But either way, how are they going to get out? I can't wait to see that. I'm sure it's going to be a really cool, interesting way. Sub-question. There's a little sub-question. Are they in the astral plane? I choose to think that they are. But are they really there? We'll find out in the next episode, because I'm assuming that's where Oliver can help them. If they're in the astral plane, then he can help them, you know, in some kind of way. Because where else would he be? How can he jump anywhere else if he's in David's mind or something? You know, so I think I've talked way too much about Legion today, and I hope you enjoyed yourselves. So if you are not subscribed to me, please subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook.com/WhatTheHellpcast, Twitter.com/TheHellpcast, Instagram.com/WhatTheHellpcast. You can go on SoundCloud, YouTube, and podcast, Stitcher Radio, anything that Podbay, and you search "What the Hell Did We Just Watch?" and you can just subscribe to me right there, so that way you're in the know. You listen to any episode, you know, enjoy yourself. Just Legion, if you just like the way I talk about Legion, go ahead. There are other things on there for everyone, so I hope everybody's enjoying everything that I make every single week. But I think I've talked way too much, like I said. So the Emotional Lou, Legion chapter 6, and I just got one thing to say: it's been Emotional.